We did it! We managed to survive for a second season with Regen Rovers. Phenomenal achievement. And today we're just going to be doing a Season 2 review. We'll be looking at the players in a bit more detail, how they individually performed, how the team performed compared to the other teams in the division. Having a look at the other leagues as well towards the end of the video. And also looking at the awards, as you can see before you on the screen here. Jack Young, Player of the Season according to the game. Who else would win it? Richard Wilson, a surprise second place. He only got 20 appearances under his belt this season, but I think it's quite biased towards the average rating of players, and he got a decent average rating this season. And Leon Woodland, third best player of the season. Jack Young, of course, top goal scorer, young player of the year as well, because all the players are young. Now 19 years old. We've got a few 19-year-olds in the team. And this is the team of the season. Jack Young is actually the player that was placed behind Todd and Ormsby. Why is Todd in there? I have no idea, because he was pretty useless, but never mind. I have no idea why Dion Mills isn't in there. Legend. Alfie Doddington's in there, but he has now gone, remember, to Grays Athletics. And Aqua, at the back, he was useless. Then again, the whole defence wasn't great, was it? Anyway, I'm going to turn off my picture, because we can look at things in a bit more detail without my face getting in the way. Jack Young really has been an unbelievably good player for us this year. That 13 on finishing has really helped him out. 8 long shots isn't particularly high, but he has scored quite a few long shots this season. If you haven't watched the video where I showed all the 22 goals from Jack Young this season, go and check it out. I'll put it in the description below, or you can just click on my channel if you haven't watched it yet. Just something a bit different, like a DVD style thing, commemorating this season. He's been brilliant, hasn't he? He really has. And last season, 11 goals. This season, he's doubled that tally. He's improved his average rating. He's also managed to get 5 more assists this year as well, and a few more man of the matches. What a star this guy is. He's contracted until next summer as well, so that's good. If someone wants to come in for him, they're going to have to pay for him, and I'm not going to sell. I will try and increase his contract to another year very shortly as well, just to get him on board until 2020. If we just look at a few attributes, you can see at the start of the save he had 11 finishing. He's now gone up to 12.6, so rounded up to 13. Things like pace and acceleration have... pace has gone up slightly, but anticipation has gone all the way from 7 until 9. He's improved that pretty well. Composure and off the ball could do with increasing. They're both on 7 at the moment. We need better than that for a striker, but he's been scoring goals, and that's the main thing. It really doesn't actually matter that he's not got the best attributes in the world when he's actually sticking it in the back of the net. That's actually what matters. This is our season review. You can see we lost in the 4th qualifying round of the FA Cup once again. 3rd qualifying round of the FA Trophy. 15th in the league. Brilliant stuff from us. Let's just have a look. We're going to have a look to see who wins the playoff final between Sutton United and St Albans today as well. But 15th. Brilliant stuff. The highest this season was actually in the first couple games of the season, but once again we flirted with relegation. The whole season was 13th going into the last game, did drop to 15th, but that's a vast improvement on last year. I know we only survived 1 game before the end of the season, but it still is a brilliant achievement, I think. Looking at the stats, you can see Jack Young, joint 2nd top goal scorer this season. He was the joint 2nd most assists as well, so that's pretty impressive. I don't know if we're anywhere else. You can see goals wise we scored the 4th highest number of goals this season, although I think we did concede the most if we just have a look. Yep, 79 goals conceded, 1 more than Dulwich Hamlet. We weren't great defensively, were we? But our tactic was built on attack, and we scored plenty of goals this season. We also got the most red cards. We've got an aggressive team, haven't we? 7 red cards this season. Spent the most money, apparently, net transfer spend. The club finances are pretty dreadful. We'll have a look at them in a minute. Hopefully they will improve. Maybe the chairman could give us a boost. Gareth Sheriff, 3 red cards this season. Not great from him. But he has been an important player and scored 2 unbelievable goals for us. Apparently match of the season was our 3-2 win back in September against Bath City. And the moment to forget, of course, the 5-0 defeat against Chelmsford City, our bogey team who have been promoted, fortunately. And now I have to hold a team meeting. What do I say? Do I say prepare for another relegation battle next year? Or do I say something else? I'm not going to say playoffs, that would be dangerous. Do I go for the... I mean, realistically, it's going to be another relegation battle. And that's what they agree with. But that's fine, it's help. I mean, the morale's not great, considering we survived and we won a few games towards the end of the season. The morale is not amazing. This is my end of season confidence review with the chairman, who has been very obstructive towards things. We haven't managed to get anything when I've been to him to ask for stuff because of the money situation. There's just nothing that we can do. It is very dire, really. I mean, if I try and improve the youth facilities, let's go for developing the best. We're not currently willing to consider this due to the club's financial situation at the moment. You can see here only okay finances. I would say it's pretty dire in a way. Minus 71 grand. I don't really know what to do about it. I've actually taken a wage cut, though, you'll be pleased to know. I had to do it. If we just look, I'm now on to £350 a week. I was on £650. I've agreed to... I mean, I suggested to the board to reduce my wage budget down to £350. And it's a 2-year contract, so I'm definitely around for those 2 years, which has helped. It's given me a bit of security, because there's always the worry that a volatile chairman will get rid of you. I doubt he'll want me to do... Yeah, I can't do a coaching course. I'm still a hugely awful coach. I don't know when that's going to improve. If I ever have the opportunity to improve it, I don't know. I've got a National B licence, apparently, so I did train for that one. That's what I managed in that first half of the season under the old board. So everyone's off to Skegness, of course, for their summer holidays, although most players are full-time postmen or plumbers or builders or whatever, aren't they? This is just their part-time occupation. This is the squad, then. If we have a look at this year and just analyse it, analyse the player performance in detail, you can see the most appearances were made by Jack Young, who was ever present in the team. Sensational player. I'm waxing lyrical about him, but he just deserves it. It's been phenomenal. Top goal scorer, of course, Jack Young, 22 goals. Dion Mills got 8, had a really great last third of the season. Dan Ormsby with 7. He flitted and floated, didn't he? Sometimes he was amazing. Other times, for example, the last few games, not so good. I probably need to find a better strike partner for Jack Young, realistically. A proper target man. I've been playing Dan Ormsby as a target man. He's got 8 on heading. It's not terrible, but it's certainly not the best. Leon Thompson, 5 goals this season. Leon Woodland, really liked him. The two Leons, Thompson and Woodland, have performed well. Thompson's actually signed a pretty hefty contract. He wanted money up front rather than bonus appearance fee money, which is fine because he's going to be playing anyway, and the players like Jack Young, who are mainly on appearance-based contracts, they're going to be playing every game anyway, so he's really earning almost £300 a week because of his £20 per week part-time contract plus the appearance fee, and he scores goals, so he can be earning quite a bit of money some weeks. I don't know if that's having an impact on the finances. It could be, but the thing is, I'm underspending. I'm spending £3,740 a week on wages. I've got 7.3 grand to spend. I've got no money to spend in the transfer budget this year. Of course, I could change that. We could have a huge amount of money to spend if I really wanted to. But I'm trying to save the club by under half. Well, it's about half, isn't it? About half the transfer wage budget I'm spending. And even when bonuses are added on, it's going to be nowhere near that every week. So it's very strange as to why the finances are being screwed. But the board has still given me quite a bit of leeway for wages. Moving on to assists, and Jack Young was the top assist for the club as well with 12. Alfred Oddington did get 8 before he left for Grays Athletic. Leon Woodland actually managed to match that though with 8 assists. Dion Mills got 5 and Leon Thompson and Oliver Sparks with 4 each. Don't know what's going to happen to Oliver Sparks, our guy on loan from Swindon. I have tried bidding for him, but they don't want to sell him for a reasonable amount of money anyway. He's a brilliant crosser of the ball, and he's got a little bit of, acceleration, teamwork. He fits into our system quite well, actually, on that left midfield. I might try and get him on loan again. His contract is up, though, so he might be willing to sign for a free. At the moment, there'll be a compensation fee, so I just need to wait for him to leave Swindon, and then I can sign him on a free, but I guess he might sign a new contract with them. It's all up in the air at the moment. Average rating wise, Jack Young top with 7.04. Richard Wilson was second. It is done on average rating, that player of the year thing on the game. Young, Wilson and Woodland. It's a bit silly really, because Dion Mills should surely be up there in second place. I can't really argue with Woodland being third though. He's been great as well in midfield. Having a look at some other details, you can see value wise Dr. Jones is actually worth the most. The legend of the first season. He's improving slightly. Things like balance are going down, but stamina, positioning, finishing are currently going up. You look at him and you think, cool, this player's pretty poor, isn't he? He's got nothing there. But I suppose he's averaged a few things which has enabled him to be relatively effective for us. Passing of 5 is pretty poor and vision of 7. And considering apparently he's a shadow striker, finishing of 5 isn't the best in the world. I don't really understand how he's put in some superb performances for us. Maybe important games, the hidden attribute behind the scenes is really high, and that's how he won us that game at the end of the first season. Of course he's sticking around though. I've given him a contract until 2020. It's only 20 quid a week. He doesn't play a huge amount of games, so the appearance fee bonus will not be activated that often unless he does push for a first team place next season. But we have to keep him around. We have to keep some of our legends around. Players like DJ though, I'm not sure I will be keeping around. His contract's up at the end of this next month, end of June, and he's earning £220 a week, which was one of the higher earners at the club. I don't really see the benefit of giving him a similar contract to keep him around. He's similar to Dr. Jones, I guess, in a sense that his attributes aren't amazing. Physically, he's alright, quite a few decent attributes there, and mentally, there's a few interesting ones there, but once again, technically, not the best. 8 finishing is alright, I guess, but we'll see. Maybe he can go to a rolling monthly non-contract. We'll see what happens, I suppose, because he is earning the second highest amount behind Dion Mills, who has been given a new contract at the club until next summer. Hopefully can sign for another year. But he's on £230 a week, which is the highest amount. He's also got an appearance fee of 50 quid. So it's an expensive player to keep compared to everyone else. But he's well worth it because he's put in some brilliant performances this season in particular. 13 passing is a very useful attribute for him. And seems to be nicking a few goals. Although he's only got 2 in heading, the 12 jumping reach, which is apparently going down, is helping him score a few headers. 194 centimetres, he hasn't grown any taller. I always thought that Regens grew taller. They got more physical, heavier as they got a bit older, because of course they start off at 15 or 16 on the game. You see the strength usually go up, and stamina and that sort of thing, and pace and acceleration, but I always thought they got taller, but maybe I'm wrong in thinking that. There's a few players like Lee Hook which are very unhappy because I've not played them much, especially for the last part of this season when I've not been playing fullbacks. I don't know what's going to happen to the likes of Lee Hook, Chris Breach, Yaya Dom. They've all been, Yaya Dom's he's been a good servant for the club the last 2 years, but it's not really been that great. Breach and Hook's average ratings, not great either, which is why I moved away from playing fullbacks. I can't seem to find that many decent fullbacks in the game. I always seem to struggle to find fullbacks in Football Manager though. It's always been a problem for me. And they're very expensive to get a really good fullback, like an attacking one. It's going to be very expensive. But if I find some decent free ones, then I will. Of course, there is the option to promote from within the club. Will Carter had a pretty average first season for us, but played most games. This year, he didn't play a single game in the first team, I don't think. And in the reserves, a 6.56 average rating in the group games, non-competitive slightly better, but not great at all really. So I think it was completely fair enough for me to stick him in the under-23s. There's plenty of fullbacks in the under-23s, but I don't know if anyone's good enough to really make their mark and get promoted to the first team. There's so many players available in the under-23s and under-18s. Now this moves on to another point. I had my second youth intake. I didn't mention it in the last video. There's no superstars that have come into the team, but you can see all the 16-year-olds are basically the new youth intake players. Players to maybe keep an eye on. Gareth Pointing, who has scored a few goals for the under-18s, 1 competitive, 4 non-competitive for the under-18s. This guy, he could be decent. Unlikely in a way. That aggression of 18 could let him down. He's got good work rate, decent teamwork, flair, leadership, long shots, could be useful. It's only 10, but it's pretty decent at this level. But finishing of 4 really puts me off playing him up front. Off the ball, 9 is alright. He's not the most physical player in the world, but he's average at everything. There's nothing shocking there, at least. So we'll see how he develops. I'll give him more time in the under-18s. If he proves himself, then we'll stick him into the under-23s. Strangely enough, there's another striker that is very good at playing the defensive forward. I don't know why we can't seem to produce actual proper strikers. Quite annoying, really. Let's just look at the potential. So the best one is actually a goalkeeper we've had around for a long time, Jason Disley, who is in the under-23s, but I allow him to play in the under-18s. He's alright, actually. He's quite similar to Grant Waugh. He doesn't look that much different if we just compare him here. Jason Disley on the left with the green and Waugh with the blue. So Waugh is generally better. He's better physically all round. And mentally there's a few differences in there. Disley's got high aggression, which I don't think that's really going to benefit a goalkeeper. He's got better determination as well, which you could argue will help him to develop a little bit better over time. But technically they're quite similar. They've got the same handling and reflexes. Waugh's better at communication and aerial reach and penalty taking, strangely enough, as we found out this season. Disley's slightly taller as well, slightly heavier, but Waugh is my main man in goal. I know he's proven to be causing all sorts of problems at the back with his mistakes, but I think it's the game that is causing that problem rather than anything else. Another goalkeeper is a player with potential, apparently, according to these star ratings. Don't know how much you agree with that sort of thing. Max Tuck, how is he? What the hell? Look at all those ones. I've never seen so many ones. He's not going to turn into anything. I don't know why. I gave my director of football or head of youth development the option to sign the players that he thought deserved to be given part-time youth contracts. But I wouldn't really have signed him, to be honest, because physically and mentally there's some good attributes there, but everything else is a 1, and that's just ridiculous. Liam Howells apparently has... this guy looks a bit better. There's more yellows there, not so many white coloured attributes. Passing of 7, vision of 8 in midfield isn't the best, but it can be improved upon, certainly, and the teamwork will help him out. We've got players just getting so much aggression and teamwork. It's really, really odd. I don't really know why. Darryl Polk, great name. Maybe he'll be my next favourite after Doddington. He's a left back or a left midfielder or right back as well. He's got very good free kick taking for a left back. Bravery, flair, work rate, natural fitness are all very high. But things that will let him down defensively, heading of 3, tackling's only 5, positioning's only 4. He's surely not going to be a good defender. Maybe I should train him up as a winger, but then he's only got crossing of 3, so I can't see him really becoming anything, to be honest. He could become a free kick merchant, and that's it. So it doesn't look particularly good at youth level. Fabian Thomas, an 18-year-old, apparently has potential, but I don't think he's going to develop into anything. Average rating wise, you can see some of our new players coming in have picked up good average ratings in the few games they have played, but they haven't played a huge number of games, so you can't really compare very easily. Top goal scorer at this level was Callum Davis until I put him into the first team. It's now Gareth Poynton with those 4 goals. Let's look at under 23 level. Top goal scorer Callum Davis, 17 goals. I don't know if that's across under 23. I think that's under 23 and under 18 level. Connor Todd only managed 4 since I've dropped him into the under 23s. So he's just not good enough, I don't think. Looking at Connor Todd. Finishing of 12 just made me think it would be useful, but it's just not been fine in the back of the net. That pace and acceleration is just letting him down. He's so slow. I have hope for Joe Gordon. Everything's going up. When he is fit, everything goes up. He trains incredibly well, but he's had a really hard injury hit season this year, and he only managed 2 starts and 3 sub appearances in the first team. Hopefully that will change next year, because I do like him. I guess it's unlikely that he will develop. So areas I need to improve upon. I think I need another centre-back to play alongside. I think Richard Wilson probably will play in the middle and then Simmons on the left. Richard Wilson just doesn't look good at all. He's got good positioning though, so maybe that's helping his average rating. But he had a good season last year, so I have to put the faith in him and play him in that centre cover position, I think. Then Simmons here, and then on the right, I think we'll go and sign a new centre-back, because Ulukunle's not good enough. Not sure about Charlie Morris just yet. The guy I signed in January maybe could do a job there, I don't know. And of course, Aqua is leaving the club. There are options in the under-23s. There's a few defenders here that I quite like the look of. Andrew Murray, for example. Everything's going up. But there's a lot of ones there as well, which puts me off. There's Cordeloy, who played a couple games in the first season, but nah, I don't like the look of him either. George Jenkins looks pretty awful. Not good enough. Kevin Griffiths is an interesting character because he's got 14 on free kicks. But defensively, just below average, really. Andy Ward could play centre-back. He looks okay, but there's once again quite a few ones there, which put me off. Kalala, can't see him developing into anything. I've got a hell of a lot of players. I probably should be letting some go. Someone did point out the fact that with the more players you have, the less that the coaches will be training every individual player, because they're focusing all their attention on a massive group of players. In theory, that makes sense. I don't know if that's true, but I'll take your word for it, I suppose, because there are a lot of players, of course, in the training, taking part in training. Oh! This is interesting. I've just clicked continue. Board announced new stadium plans will go ahead. The Regen Rovers board have today announced that the club have been granted planning permission to build a new stadium. Construction of Regen Rovers Stadium, original name, will cost £2.5 million. I have no idea where the money's coming from. The deal will also includes a clause for 25% of the gate receipts to be paid in rent. Initial estimate indicates that the plan work will cost £2.5 million. Secured a loan. We're going to be in debt then. Additional funding for the project secured with a stadium sponsorship deal worth $75k and a £1.14 million grant from the authorities. I guess it's the council or something like that. It is expected that this expenditure will take around 26 months. So it's hell of a long time. It's a long old process. It's going to be over 2 years away. So we've got 2 years playing in our current stadium, I think. It's going to be in Reigate. Capacity 3,085, that's how much it costs. Going to be finished by the end of the 2019-20 season. Wait, so now we're moving to Broadfield Stadium, which is where Crawley Town plays. So I'm guessing we're destroying our current stadium and building Broadfield Stadium. Now, the bad thing about us building a stadium so soon is that I think on older games you couldn't apply to build another new stadium until like 15 to 20 years afterwards. So we'll build the stadium, we'll be stuck with this one. We have to hope that it has the ability or the capacity to be able to extend this stadium. Because if we get to the Champions League, they're going to have to extend the stadium to being much bigger. However, this is a long-term save. So maybe in 20 years' time, I'll still be around managing Regen Rovers next October in real life, I guess, and we'll be able to build a brand new, bigger stadium. That would be the ultimate aim. But we're going to be playing in Crawley for the next 2 years, I guess, which has a much bigger stadium. We're paying 2.72k yearly rent. That's nothing, really, is it? We surely can bring in... I mean, we'll get money from this, won't we? I hope not all the money goes to Crawley till the receipts on the doors. How many people will be able to get in that? Because it's got 10,000 capacity. It's obviously going to be bigger than the one we're currently building. Oh wait, 6,134, potential to be expanded to 10,000. Now this all makes sense now, because we are now complying with Vanarama National League South. What is this going on about? Promotion so that we're already in the Vanarama National League South. But yes, the whole reason for this is we're complying with the regulations. We're building a new stadium that will fit the regulations of the new league. By that point, we might have got promoted, which could be a bit of a hindrance. But anyway, by moving into this stadium for the time being, we are also complying with the league, so we won't have any problems. We won't get any point deductions or be relegated. But what the hell is going to happen to the finances? I don't know. We're going to have a massive debt. You can see here 1.5 million for the stadium. Interesting. Hopefully, that won't impact us greatly in the future, but they are the board, credit to them, are thinking ahead, I suppose. Maybe they should have called it the Dr. Jones Arena or something like that. That would have been incredible. Talking of Dr. Jones and fantastic plays for the club, who was your player of the season other than Jack Young? Because Jack Young was quite obviously the best player of the season, but other than him, who do you think was the best player? Personally, I think I'd go for someone like Dion Mills, who was fantastic towards the last third of the season. Across the entire season, Leon Woodland did really well, actually, I must say. But let me know in the comment section below, who was your player of the season other than Jack Young. Maybe you would go for someone else. Maybe you're a defensive-minded person and you'd go for Gareth Sheriff or someone, I don't know. We've actually got a few players on the favoured personnel now. We've got Markland, who's still on there because he won Player of the Year last year, and Jack Young, which is great stuff. Eddie Mitchell, the chairman, apparently is liked by the fans, I guess, if he's on the favoured personnel, which... It's probably because he's building a new stadium. He's now the new blue-eyed boy, I suppose, amongst the fans for building a new stadium. We've still got this guy who was the manager of Poole Town. That's just a glitch, I guess, in the system, having him on there. Surely I should be on there, though. Come on. I've kept us up twice in a row. Ooh, so Sutton United won the playoffs, beating St Albans City on penalties. Oh, very unlucky for St Albans, because they had a really good season. But then again, I suppose Sutton United did as well. They finished second, so I guess they deserved to go up in a way. So we've got Chelmsford and Sutton United out of our hair. What about the other divisions then? So Chester just won the Vanarama League North playoffs. Halifax Town won the league, so they go up. We've seen Gainsborough and Kettering and Worcester have been relegated. So looking at the Vanarama National League, you can see Wrexham won the league. Gateshead went up via the playoffs. Woking, Woolstone, Guiseley and Weston-super-Mare relegated. So 3 of those teams are southern teams, I think. So one of the current Vanarama National League South teams will have to move across to the northern branch. A team that's, I guess, borderline between the south and north of England. I think that's what happens anyway. Moving up to League 2, we can't see everything, we can't see one of the playoffs, but Crawley, the team that we're actually going to be playing in their stadium, they've gone up to League 1. Wickham and Portsmouth have also gone up. Maybe we can convert some Crawley fans into Regen Rovers fans, who knows. Grimsby Town and Barnet were relegated. League 1, Millwall and Reading promoted. Then the Championship was won by Bournemouth and Derby also went up. And the Premier League won by Man United for the second season in a row. Southampton, Sunderland and Bristol City relegated. So I think that pretty much sums up today's video. It's going to be a busy old summer. I'm going to be trying to sign lots of new players, of course, to improve the team. Maybe releasing certain players that just aren't going to make it at this level and there's no point in them being around. So probably a big clear out this summer. I didn't have a massive clear out last summer, but I think this year I will. Thank you for the support on these first 2 seasons. They've been a real struggle, haven't they? But we have survived both years, and hopefully next year we can push on. I did say this last year, but hopefully we can push on this year in the 3rd season and finish comfortably in mid-table. Playoffs are a bit unrealistic at this stage, if we're honest. The team is just not good enough, and unless this tactic does remarkable things every single game, we're not going to get anywhere, unfortunately. But mid-table survival, I think we can manage next year. Please hit a like button. Please hit the like button on this video. That'd be much appreciated. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Who was the best player other than Jack Young this season? Who do you think is going to be important next year? Head over to Regen Rovers on Twitter as well. I'm doing a few polls on there. The next video will probably be like the 3rd season kit launch. I'm thinking of doing that, so we have a look at some of the graphics you guys have made for us, and maybe play a friendly as well in pre-season. So that will be episode 18. Episode 19 will be the official start of the 3rd season. So hope you're looking forward to that. Until next time, guys, enjoy Football Manager 2017.